Given tan theta equals 3/5 in quadrant 3, evaluate the 5 remaining trig functions. So basically the most important thing here is actually that you know which quadrant you're in. So I'm going to quickly draw a little quadrant and or coordinate plane. This is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So basically, if you're telling me that you're in quadrant 3, this means your x value and your y value are going to be negative. Now you might say, wait a minute though, tangent is positive. That's correct, because if you have a negative divided by a negative, it's going to give you a positive. So what this means is basically that we have a triangle, okay? And here's our angle theta. And tan, remember, is opposite over adjacent. And basically you're going to have 3/5, but because I'm telling you you're in quadrant 3, what that means is that these values are actually negative. This is actually -3, and it'll be over -5. And notice if you do negative divided by a negative, it will give you a positive tangent. Now, to find the other side length, you're still finding hypotenuse, and you can still do that using the quadratic formula. So basically what you'll have is you'll have -3 squared plus -5 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. Or you could put c here, it doesn't matter. And so basically -3 squared, we know that'll be +9, and 25 equals h squared. So 25 plus 9 is 34. And I don't want h to be squared, so I'll have to square root it. So basically h equals the square root of 34. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that got blurry. Okay, so now that you've established your triangle, what it looks like, you can now do all the trig functions, and you're going to need your calculator because you're going to need help simplifying most of these. So we'll start with sine, cosine, and tan, and then we'll go from there. We already know that tan is equal to 3/5. It's really -3 over -5, but you can see that that'll simplify to 3/5. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that'll be -3 over square root 34. And this is where I'm telling you you'll want your calculator, but we'll do it all at the same time. Cosine is going to be -5 over 34, square root 34. Sorry, my writing's really tiny there. Okay, so use your calculator. If you make the fraction, you're going to have -3 over square root 34. Oops, square root 34. And you'll get -3 square root 34 over 34. This one, exact same thing's going to happen. You can use your calculator to verify. Okay, this one's fine as is. Then I need to do my other 3 trig functions, so you should know that tan and cotan are reciprocals. So if this was 3/5, this will be 5/3. We also have cosine goes with secant, and I would tell you to flip this, but you don't want the radical on the bottom. So what you should actually flip is just flip this one. You'll get square root 34. You'll get kind of a negative in the front. It doesn't really matter where you put it, but it's better to be in front than on the bottom. That's fine because you're allowed to have square root on the front or on the top. And then on the top we have cosecant, which is going to be this one flipped. So basically square root 34 over 3 with a negative in front. Okay. So basically, you just need to figure out what quadrant you're in, and then that's going to tell you which values are positive or negative. So in quadrant 3, the x and the y are both negative. and then the radius or the hypotenuse will always be positive.